Hello again. Welcome back. Happy Friday, yo. Let's get another game in. The white pieces, we're going to get e4 and a Caro Kann. Okay. Opponent hasn't, we've not played before, but they've been on chess.com for 6 months or so, 7 months. And that's an Ireland flag. I'm going to meet the Caro with my gambit. The Rasa Studier gambit. And I'm going to play Bishop d3. Okay. And in this gambit, and the Black Mardemer is very similar. I'm going to look to control the F and E files and um, build up a lot of pressure there at the. I think I should have kicked this bishop at some point, but I do that now. Okay. So lots developed. I got 3 pieces out, already castled. Um, let's get the bishop out. Where do I want to put the bishop? I think I want. Well, this pawn's hanging at the moment. Might as well try to save that. Yeah, let's save the pawn for a second. Maybe knight there. Knight takes. You can get our rook into the game. Rattle off these opening moves pretty quickly, and both of us are still over 15 minutes on the clock. So I'm going to take some time and think about things for a minute. So opponent's castled on the king side. I've got all my pieces developed. Lots of power aimed at the king side here. Just want to get this knight swung over, I think. And yeah, I'm gonna get my knight over here. Everything is on the king side now. He takes, and I'm gonna take with the queen and threaten immediate mate. This block doesn't work because that hangs the d pawn, but that also doesn't work because I take with the rook. And this might be a short game. That is the benefit of having the F file open. And he's just down a piece because he can't take that back. So let's save our rook. Just bring it back, and we're playing up a bishop. I think that rapid play there, just kind of firing off those moves, got my opponent into some trouble there. Um, Obviously, he's down a piece now, and I'm setting pretty. So, I mean, I'd be tempted to just, like, I don't want to, I'm not going to just take it. But if I can challenge these dark squares here, he wants to drop back, and I'll gladly trade pieces because every trade is just to my benefit. Now he can win this pawn here with check. I'll sidestep. Okay. So now let's defend our pawn so there's no more problems there. It's still a check, but I suppose he can push e5, but takes. Okay. I'm about dropping the queen back to threaten f7. I think that looks good. If he pushes, he weakens the e pawn. If he protects, we can pin the rook. If he protects with the queen, I can deflect the queen. Protect with the queen here. And then maybe I just reposition the bishop to force the trade of dark square bishops. I'm up a piece. I just want to trade a piece for a pawn. So the more I get off the board, the easier it is for me. So he pushes. So now we've got this weak backwards e pawn, but I don't want to lead the charge with my queen. So how about we cause some problems with the bishop here. And he sack, check, takes with check and attack on the bishop. But what if I just sidestep? He takes the pawn, I give up the pawn, I sidestep, his bishop's still under attack. And I'm going to capture this pawn with a threat on the exchange. Okay. Hmm. So I want to force trades. Well, why don't we just stack rooks? Is he threatening to take here now? Takes, takes. I mean, that's still the same thing. Two pawns, but if he takes and I sidestep, I'm not threatening to take here yet. Why don't I just sidestep and avoid that? Avoid that sacrifice idea here. And then I'm going to stack rooks and play against this backwards e pawn. It's going to be a long grind for him. I don't see a way out for him. But I don't know if I'd resign either. Like he's down a piece, but there's always the chance that I could snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. I would like to think that's not going to happen though. I'm usually a pretty safe bet if I'm of a piece. Um, so yeah, I don't see what he does. He can lift his rook to prepare to stack his own rooks. I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to build up pressure against this backwards pawn. I can always reposition my bishop to uh, kick any defense off of this dark square here. This is just simply a case of my opponent just got a little overzealous, thinking my gambit was dubious, I guess. That's why I love gambits. I'll take the initiative every day of the week. And there are so many attacking players. And attacking, it's difficult, and it's difficult for me as somebody that loves attacking to be forced on the defense when I have the black pieces. Um, all right, so he's going to offer up a trade. He's going to trade off dark square bishops, and I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So now I can occupy this square just to prevent any kind of dynamic play that removes the option of pushing, and then I can stack her exactly that way. I've fixed the weakness. I have taken away its opportunity to move forward. And it's going to be a slow, painful demise for black. This felt like a blitz game. Honestly, we were throwing those moves out so quickly. And only now that black is like struggling did he stop to move, stop to think about what his plan should be. Okay. So I've got two rooks and a bishop. And he can bring the king and a rook. He did take away my bishop, so my attempt at kicking this rook off is not gonna be easy. But I can get my queen over here and infiltrate in the dark squares. Could even push pawns. He needs another defender. That's This is just arithmetic here. I've got 1, 2, 3 attackers. He's got 1, 2 defenders. So he can move the king or he can move the rook. Or he can try to get dynamic counterplay somehow. But if he abandons this pawn, which he has done, okay, he's going to defend this. Maybe try to push it. I don't know. He's going to try and defend from here. So I'm going to evaluate my strategy here, and I'm going to just think for a second because I have plenty of time. And I'm going to say, normally it is my strategy to trade down pieces when I'm up material. I'm up a full bishop. I could win a pawn. I don't see a reason not to. I'm gonna attack with the rook, and yeah, I don't see a reason not to. It's just trade pieces. He really needs to. I don't know if he needs to take, but I don't see what he does. Okay, so we just trade the rooks, and then I'll offer a queen trade, and then go into an endgame with a bishop. That looks good to me. Think I can win with a bishop and a 4-on-3 on the queen side. This used to call this the Rosa Studier. I don't know why I stutter over that every time. That the Rasa Studier Gambit when I would play it in the Caro Kann, but it's chess.com has changed to calling it a queen pawn opening, Blackmar Deemer, Ziegler defense. So I don't know if they're renaming uh, or what is going on there, but so many different names. Just gonna rush my king to the center here. Mm, he wants to get pawns on dark squares so that I can't attack them with the bishop. I'm just going to move my king in. Gets down here too far, and he's going to have a problem. I can create a passer pretty quick. And if he tries to check me, I can just move forward. End game is where I can grow. Definitely get better at my end game abilities. Um, Moving the king just allows him to check and drive the king back. While taking the square away. I want to try and fix his pawns on. Ah, this would have been an excellent move. That should have been my first candidate there. Once I started saying I want to fix his pawns on light squares, C5 just firmly plants. It prevents this B pawn from moving. C pawn's not going anywhere. Um, Now if I push it, he gets the king in here. So I suppose I can take square away from the king. I would have rather done that from here, though. Bishop here would have been a lot more desirable, but he's running out of tempo gaining moves. Um, like he doesn't have any way to waste a tempo, so I think I can recover. All right, that's a light square, so I'm going to fix that pawn on a light square. You can't move this without abandoning that. He's got this, but then all of his pawns are fixed on light squares. He can try to break it up, but then I can advance. That leaves his kingside pawns on dark squares. Let's see about rounding this up. And with my king over here, I think I can stop anything from getting forced through. to prevent f4. Now he's got a problem. Okay. I'm going to fix these two pawns on light squares now. Kind of surprised opponent just hasn't resigned, because this is clearly winnable game for white. But on the flip side, I do appreciate the opportunity to work on my end game. There we go. Good game, friend. Let's check out the game review. I played that with 91.2% accuracy and I was completely dominating most of the game after he dropped that piece. Shows black had 1.0 edge for just a little while. So black shows a Caro, and it shows my gambit is a mistake. Well, that's just like your opinion, man. I think it worked out pretty well for me. Gives me lots of attack, and technically, sure, it gives up a pawn. It gives up a full pawn, but the compensation that I get is just so fun. It's so fun to play this gambit. Caro Kann players beware. So here this was a mistake, or an error, inaccuracy. Kicking. And I know it wants me to do that earlier on. I should have just went ahead and protected my pawn here. But I mean, can't ask for much better development. My lone central pawn here is doing an excellent job in the center. And, once once he takes this knight, if he doesn't take the knight, I'm going to reposition here, I think. But taking it was a mistake. It gives white a 0.2 edge. And he just didn't see, this is his blunder. Doesn't actually call it a blunder either. It's just a mistake. Oh, it is a blunder. It didn't label it as a blunder in the move. Oh, yeah, it did. I just didn't see it in the move count. So this is his blunder. He just doesn't see that the rook can take the knight there because it's mate. You can't take back. That's the only defense, and from here on out, it's just the grind. It's just the grind of converting a winning position up a piece. very methodically picking off pawns and marching down to victory. Once I have a passer, it's just over. He can no longer defend his 2 pawns over here. I come in with the bishop, I'm going to trade off, and I'm just going to win. I played it like a 2400, and he played like a 2050. They really didn't feel like, I mean, it was a high level game, but I didn't have any pressure on me after he dropped the piece. So, all right. I hope you enjoyed that game. Come back and watch some more chess with me. Like, share, subscribe, leave some comments. If there are other openings you'd like to see, let me know how you like this new board, or if you'd like me to go back to the old board. See you next time.